Dr. Mike has tried many ways to get me more interested in the wonderful world of the Commodore 64. He was wrong with his most recent tactic. Two Commodore 64s used together to become an accordion. Hi, everybody. This is Kelly at KELLYTHUL on Twitter and Instagram, and welcome to Bog Panda.
I'm Dr. Mike at Official Pagan on everything. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, leave a comment, turn on the notifications, go to one of our other videos, leave a comment on that one as well. It's 2-for-1 comments today.
But you forgot, what are we the home of?
Oh, our amazing merch, that's what we're the home of.
I'm going to give that a hard no.
Oh, that's right. The world's shortest podcast.
Hard no. World's shortest.
So hard.
And so no. Worth the price of admission, which is zero. So you know what you're getting there.
It's worth $0 every time.
So we do shows every once in a while that demonstrate there are a lot of people with free time on their hands and talent. You've got to give credit there. But what some people use their free time for is intriguing.
And talent.
And talent is intriguing. And this one definitely was. It is. We will include a link in the video description to the individual where they kind of cover everything. But this gentleman has built a very functional and reasonable sounding accordion utilizing two Commodore 64s, floppy disks for the bellows, cut and put together there. Did some stuff to kind of get the power sourcing done so it would kind of work out. And it's pretty amazing. But gosh, if he could use this talent and intellect to do something a little more useful, I kind of was pulling for that. But what he did do was pretty cool. When this video goes into the more depth than you could ever possibly want on every part of this, from how it performs to how he did it and all that. But it was super intriguing. So what did you think when you came across this, Mike?
So when I first saw the thumbnail for it, I just kind of thought it was like a joke, and it was just going to be a Commodore 64 video. Boy, was I surprised. So I think first and foremost, what the lovely listening audience would like to know, sir, is are you an accordion guy?
So I am an accordion expatriate. So
Interesting.
So in my far ago youth, somehow my mother decided that it would be good for my brother and I to take accordion lessons. So we began to do that in the kind of after school activity. It's a cutthroat world in accordion learning. And pretty quick, they said, we're going to thin the herd. We're going to separate some folks out. We're going to have the accordions with hope, the folks that we feel could be great future accordionists. They're going to be in the big room. And then we're going to take the slower learners, which was me and my brother and I think a monkey. It was a very small group of us, and we were kind of shoved in a small room on the side to not slow down the future stars of accordion. So it was a painful process, multiple weeks of that. We weren't getting better, mostly because we had no interest in getting better at all.
That's
And it
fair.
came time for the recital. So they were keeping the caste system alive that the real people, the people that knew what they were doing, were going to perform. Then the instructor's plan was, well, then we'll bring everybody up and we'll do one song with everybody. We'll let the knuckleheads join us as well. But my brother and I worked together and oh, we're going to the accordion recital tonight. Don't you guys need to bring your accordions? I'm like, nope, we're in the slow class. We don't need to bring them. And so he gets there, the guy does his thing, they do their song, and then he kind of looks over to us and says, oh, time for you to come up. And both my brother and I are like, got no accordion, can't join you. Good luck. and that ended our accordion careers.
So many great accordion players have gone out that way. The route of drugs and sex and not just bringing the accordions along with them.
And it was the accordion segregation. I could have, but I had no interest. But if I had an interest, it was being squelched because
How did she land on accordion? Did you have any input on that, or was your mom just
I,
like, you look like an accordion player?
she's a troubled woman. I don't, no, it's the mother's earnest. Oh, let's get them into these different things and whatever. And then a flyer came in to say, "Hey, Mr. Junkers," and indeed that was his name, not even made up. Mr. Junkers is going to be offering accordion lessons. That sounds good. Um, and it's a difficult. Allegedly, it's a difficult instrument to play, and I didn't invest a lot of time learning it. But this Commodore versions, it looks to me even more complex because you have nothing but on a typical accordion, there's a series of buttons on one side of the bellows and the keyboard on the other side. For his version, it's all piano keyboard. This is all computer keyboard. But so that's it. So how about you? What's your accordion experience?
So my experience with the accordion is listening to Weird Al on occasion. That's about where it starts and finishes. Did you watch the Weird Al biopic?
I have not watched that yet.
One, you were missing out, sir. It was excellent. Honestly, one of the best movies ever, maybe. Certainly one of the best music biopics ever. And throughout the movie, they refer to him as one of the best known accordion players in the world, and that is certainly true. I can't think of another accordion player that has reached that sort of level. Maybe not even his level of success, but any sort of broaching of mainstream pop culture media like that. So it is interesting. That's why we were saying that the accordion was kind of chosen for you. I was wondering, like, is your mom like an accordion fan? Was there like she at home just listening to these accordion records, and like someday you were going to be like this guy? So
I think it was just, this will get them out of the house. So
so make him go away for a little bit.
how can they stay away longer? So, I think
I do have an interest in it. So I'm a synthesizer player. Accordions never really appealed to me, but I get it. Like I get kind of being drawn to something that's different and weird. I play mostly analog synthesizers, which is not the direction that people would typically go. I'm also really into, there's a specific type of handheld analog synthesizer called a stylophone, which was popularized mostly by Bowie and Eno, using it on stuff, and it is not cool looking. It's the best way that I would describe it. So I would say it's the accordion of synthesizers, but you can get some really cool stuff out of it. But like people just look at it and are like, what is this? Why do you play this? Why does this exist? But so I get it. I understand when you're playing the duck-billed platypus of musical instruments, the looks that you get from things. But hey, Bowie played it, so that's my fallback on that. In fact, a little aside with that, the Stylophone released a official David Bowie edition, like a signature David Bowie Stylophone, which I now have. I've recently acquired one of those. So I have three stylophones now, one of which is the David Bowie signature edition. So, you know, be accordingly jealous, everyone. But yeah, I've never played the accordion, never had any specific interest in it, other than Weird Al. I don't know that I've been exposed to a lot of accordion music, to be honest with you. I've heard polka music, which has some accordion in it sometimes, and German folk music, I believe, has accordion in it from different festivals that I've been to, but that's really it. My experience with it is very low, but my experience with the Commodore 64 is growing every day. And if you could do something that's retro gaming oriented, specifically if it's using floppy disks as a part of it as well. As you guys know, these are two fascinations of mine: the Commodore 64 and floppy disks. Commodore 64, what I love about it is something that I'm sure at the time seemed revolutionary, but looking back on it now, it's something that is extremely limiting as far as its power and its abilities, and yet seemingly can do almost anything. Like they just made crazy, wild things with this. Games and programs that played off of anything, it seems. Like I think you could put them on a rock probably and throw it at the Commodore and it would still play it. There's Commodore 64 games that are still being and programs that are still being made and released to this day, including Kelly Will Slap You. There are two games of Kelly slapping you. If you can't guess what number he's thinking of, that's real. That exists. We made that happen for you. Up to a much lesser known thing, a company called Netflix, very small compared to Bog Panda. This company, Netflix, made a Commodore 64 program that they put in a movie as a series of sound tones that you could record and would copy the program onto your Commodore 64 because it's black magic. I don't understand how most of the stuff works on there, and it just fascinates me that with this incredibly limited technology, people can do so much with it. So this was, I love watching videos of things people do with their Commodore 64s. This is something totally new to me because I'm used to it being like crazy programs and all these, crazy things you can do with math and programming or, whatever, but not to physically build something new with it. Now, that was kind of an interesting thing. So I do think that this might open up the door to some sort of motion controlled Doom controller made out of a Commodore 64. That's what I have in the back of my head. Somebody who knows how to do that needs to make that happen.
Yeah, I'll have a Commodore 64 is kind of strapped on each shoulder, and you'll kind of do something. Yeah, that would be good. It'd be kind of or a Nintendo like Power Glove with 5 Commodore 64s firing off on each of the fingers, which is
It weighs 100 pounds.
yeah, your hand's you're gonna have a little trouble switching weapons and that type of thing. But you'll look no, you will not look cool. You will look like an
No,
insane
you will
person.
not look cool.
But actually, though, now that I think about it, the thing you need to start working on, I like the Doom full motion control, but you need to build your Game of Thrones Iron Throne out of Commodore 64s. just have something.
That would be cool.
That would actually look really cool. And it would work better than like I kind of would like steal that idea, do it out of Amiga 500s, but Amiga 500 is probably much better suited for the world of Minecraft and creating Minecraft-like things, where I think the 64 will work for the Game of Thrones aesthetic. My personal opinion.
I do agree with that. Yeah.
So,
but yeah, this was really interesting. It was something a little bit different, but again, I come across these things because I'm always searching for just the insane stuff people do with Commodore 64s 40 some odd years after it was released, still seeing crazy stuff. I think, between Commodore and Doom, really you could live your whole life just playing those things, given that they never seem to die and there always seems to be something new happening with them.
Yep. Yeah, and this video is great. You might want to jump around a little bit because he goes in depth on everything. So like when he was showing, because I was very interested to say, so how did he make the bellows out of floppy disks? And so there's a very kind of detailed step-by-step process, and you're like, oh, okay, now I see. Nope, we're gonna keep going because we started to build the bellows, but
he's assuming you obviously want to do this now.
Yeah. So here's every single step you need to go through, and then when he was talking about the power supply and those things, that's just where he went over my head pretty quick. He goes, because I was like, yeah, I am kind of interested to see how he did that. And they started talking about, well, of course you got to do this or that, and I'm like, okay, my eyes started to go. It's like, I will never understand this, much like I will never understand how to play an accordion. I don't want to, though. I do want to understand how to give power, how to move power to 2 Commodore 64s, but I don't know if I'll ever be able to reach that level of intellect. But it's super cool. So check the video out. It's fun. If you've got a clever Commodore 64 idea, If you have a spare one, you can send a Mike so he can start building his Iron Throne, Commodore Throne.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a lot of spare ones sent into me.
Bog Panda.